YOLO. Today, I wanted to enlighten you on how the board game Monopoly is actually the perfect example of capitalism and why you need to be investing. Let's get into it. So, first things first, we're going to actually have a fun little fact for you, which is the starting amount of money in a standard game of Monopoly is $1,500 per player. 2 $500 bills, 4 $100 bills, 1 $50 bill, 1 $20 bill, 2 $10 bills, 1 $5 bill, and 5 $1 bills. Drop a like on the video if you knew that fun fact already. And if you didn't know it, let me know in the comments. Just say something like, I learned something new today, and I'll know what you meant. Now allow me to paint a little picture for you, and you tell me if the person I'm describing is smart or dumb. Everybody starts the game, everybody gets $1,500, and this one player, he doesn't buy a property right away. He waits 2 or 3 times going around the board before he buys his first property. Everyone else has already started buying properties, but he was taking his time. Is that smart or dumb? It gets worse. There are some people who go around the board over and over and never buy a property. All they do is they collect their $200, then they continue on about their turn, land somewhere, have to pay rent, land somewhere, have to pay taxes, land somewhere, have to pay luxury goods, and they never buy any of the properties. This is a metaphor for life. Everyone gets a chance. You may not start with $1,500, but odds are you'll probably have a job at some point in your life. You'll be making money. But will you continue to just go around and around, make a little bit of money, pay everybody else off, make a little bit of money, pay everybody else off? Or are you going to start buying property or investing in cash flowing assets as soon as you possibly can? You see, it doesn't make any sense to just go, get your little paycheck, spend it all on bills, then go, get your paycheck, and rinse and repeat in the game of Monopoly. So then why are most people doing it in the game of life? Monopoly is almost a metaphor for the current capitalist system. You will ever wonder or notice how in a game of Monopoly, by the end of the game, all the money and all the properties are in the hands of 1 or 2 players? It's just like in real life. People who aggressively invest and can get their hands on good pieces of real estate, good cryptos, good stocks, good small businesses, basically anyone who can get their hands on good assets as fast as possible tends to have the head start. Now, the difference between Monopoly and real life is that everyone in Monopoly knows they're playing a game and has an even playing field. Whereas everyone in real life, not so much. A lot of people don't even realize that money is a game. They think of money as a scarce resource that has to be hoarded because it'll be lost, which leads to more of a saving mentality, not an investing mentality. And as we've seen with inflation, savers are suckers. Now, a couple things that you can learn from the game of Monopoly that carries over into real life is 1, you have to get your hands on assets. If you're not buying properties in the game, or you're not investing in real life, you're going to eventually lose your money to someone who is. Second thing to keep in mind, not all properties, just like not all investments, are the same. Boardwalk and Park Place are some of the most expensive spots in the game, but they're not landed on near as often as the railroads are. The railroads are cheaper, relatively, if you look at them individualistically, but as a group, they cost more, but they produce a lot more. The third thing in the game Monopoly is the properties themselves are expensive, but not really that valuable. See, what I mean by this is you buy a property and it charges, say, $10 in rent. Well, that's pretty much all you can do with it until you get a full set. Once you get a full set, the rent price doubles to $20 automatically. And if you want to get more out of your investments, you have to start producing or creating your own value. That's in the form of houses and hotels. Then you can suddenly charge astronomical prices. And if things get rough for you, you can always sell back the houses and hotels, usually at half cost, to cover any kind of expenses that come up. Any unplanned bills, such as landing on someone's railroad or, going to waterworks and paying the owner 10 times the amount. You weren't expecting that, but you have a little safety cushion because you can always sell off a hotel or two. This is the same as in real life. The more you have, the easier it is to take care of unexpected expenses and not get completely knocked back to starting point. See, if you keep living your life like you're playing Monopoly but avoiding properties, you'll go paycheck to paycheck in a vicious cycle, and then whenever a luxury tax or unexpected expense comes up, you're doomed. You'll fall behind and lose months, possibly years worth of work. Compare that to someone who lives more frugally and invests aggressively when they're young. And you don't have to start when you're 16 or 18. You can start at 25 or 30. I didn't start till 25 myself. But the point of it is to start aggressively investing what you can when you can. That way you can start growing and investing more. You want to become one of those guys who, in the later stages of Monopoly, owns everything. Now, something to keep in mind, which is important in real life and fundamental to the game of Monopoly, is trade. There's a saying which is, even if you're not in sales, you're in sales. And what that means is, even if you're not a salesman by trade, you're still in the job of sales. You're selling yourself to a company to get the interview. You're selling your time to get their money. Now, in Monopoly, you're trading properties or get-out-of-jail-free cards back and forth to try and get the best possible deal for yourself, to move the pieces to where you can succeed. And in real life, most people don't even do that. It may surprise you, but you actually can call your internet provider or your cell phone provider, as long as you've been paying your bills on time properly, and be like, hey, I would like to renegotiate our bill price. I see that the introductory price for new customers for one of the competitors is $10 cheaper. Is there any way you can match that? And then they will look at your account and say, oh, this person has been paying their bill on time properly for the past 8 years. We can't really match a $10 introductory period, but we could knock $5 off your bill from now on. Well, you just advocated for yourself. You just traded. You just bargained in real life, saving yourself $5 a month, 12 months a year, times however many years you plan on having internet or using a cell phone. And this is just one example. You have multiple recurring expenses, multiple properties, if you will, in your own wheelhouse that you could use and trade, that you could bargain for. See, the main problem in life isn't that people lack the resources. That's important, don't get me wrong. But the main problem is that they are not resourceful with the resources they currently have. Once you become resourceful or a good steward of your finances, good at managing your own money, you'll find it's a lot easier to get more money. That's when you get more resources. It's a paradox almost. It's opposite to what you would expect. You would expect that once I get more money, then I can invest and become good at finances. But it's actually the other way around. Once you invest and become good with your finances, you're a good steward over a little bit, then you're able to get more money. Just like in the game Monopoly. Once you're able to manage your resources properly, get a full set, start doing your due diligence, building houses and hotels, then the money starts flowing in. All of these are reasons why I think the game Monopoly is incredible for teaching the basics of capitalism and investing. That way you can learn the fundamentals and start applying it to real life to get ahead. If you enjoyed today's video, drop a like, and as always, I'll catch you on the flip side.